Welcome to Finding Unity. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lurlene.
Good morning, Candice. How are you?
I am good.
Good.
Did you recover from your football party?
Oh. Yes. I did. Yes. You thought it was a house full of people.
You did think it was a house full of people the way y'all were hooting and hollering and cheering.
They came all the way back from 7 and win the game. Just watching the cattle. He was at his bitter end, and that boy that made a touchdown and that pushed them up to 40 or something.
Oh my gosh.
And she just carried, she had a fit.
That's funny.
Just funny.
I did not expect that when I called you. I have a question for you.
What?
Okay, just take a deep breath and sit in your heart and answer this question.
If I can answer it.
All right, you can answer it. Anyone can answer this question.
Okay.
If you were sitting in a room with God and you could have one question, what's the one question you would ask?
What I would ask him?
Yeah, what's the one question you would ask?
I will ask him a question. God, am I being faithful to you and others?
Oh, that's cool. I'm asking you this because I was out in my meditations and I was walking. And you used to walk and talk and have this conversation. And I was just being thankful and reviewing sort of my expansion that's happened to me, my shifting that's happened to me, and being posed the questions, well, what are you noticing about what's the difference? What's different about the way that you feel now or your connection now or your life now than before? And the thing that I was noticing was that it's instant. My connection is instant. When I seek it, it's there. When I want to connect, I just get silent and still. Even though I'm walking around, I just find peace inside, and then I feel that feeling in my heart, and I know that I've aligned or plugged in or connected or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability to do that happens so quickly now, so naturally, so easy, whereas before it wasn't. And I remember as a child, I was always having conversations with God. I didn't know anything about God, but I just knew God was more like Santa Claus to me, something that you didn't entertain a conversation with, but that you could send letters to and requests to.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the way I felt that God was, the way Santa Claus is, this person who's very, very detached. We're not the same thing, that we're separate, but that they are available. And now I feel like I have that natural inclination to know that there is God, just as I did when I was a young girl. No one told me so, but it's just the way that I felt. And now as an adult, that I have that feeling that yes, there is this God, but then I also have the added understanding and knowledge and connection that I come from God, that we are one, and that the discussion and the dialogue happens inside very naturally, and it's back and forth, and it's a very sacred moment, because the mutual respect for each other is so grand and so strong, and it's so uplifting, because there's this support system that knows you inside and out, and there's nothing more comforting than to really be known without having to explain yourself. Something just knows you. And then I also remember thinking as a young person, I don't know if you ever went through this, but you'd always think, well, what is my purpose? Many people ask the question, what's my purpose? What should I be doing? And I remember hearing the request, well, ask your question of God. What would you say? All these things went through my head really, really fast. But then when I opened up my mouth, I said, how can I be of help to you? Because I know what you're trying to do. And then I got this feeling inside that just let me know there are all the details of life that you do and all the things you do maybe in your career and in your day and with your family and with your partners and stuff like that. But deep down in your heart, your real purpose is something that you would ask of yourself from within, just as if you were facing God. And that's your true nature and your true purpose. And what I feel like when I was just walking around the other day, walking my dog, having that conversation, that is what I found out about myself.
Oh, okay.
And then you just asked a very similar question.
Yeah.
What was yours again?
I was asking God, am I being faithful to Him and others?
And others.
Yes. You know, you want to be faithful to God. And you want to be faithful to others. But sometimes when we do things and we don't seek God, we just do stuff. It doesn't work out because He says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and then all things will be added
unto you." Lurlene,
to you.
Lurlene.
Yes.
When I woke up this morning, that verse was going through my head, and I repeated it over and over and over again before I called you.
Okay.
And you know what it was related to? Something that I was worrying about. Then I immediately did my thing where I said, why are you doing the worrying? Like, don't put it on yourself, put it on God. Like, shift it over.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard that, seek the kingdom of God first and His righteousness, and all things will be brought unto you. Mm-hmm. And you know I don't know biblical, but that for some reason came into my head. It was like, seek me first, seek me first, seek me first, seek me first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered something that I read a few years ago about worry, about anxiety. And it said, worrying about something is like praying for the worst possible outcome all day long.
Mm-hmm. Worry. You can get up and you can look in the mirror and you can have a beautiful, happy face. If you put that word on, you go back at the end of the day, you look like an old person.
Yes.
That is
haggard,
no
worn.
kind of happiness on your face. It's just a face. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look. You can tell there's no happiness there.
No.
And I hate that. You know, when I do stuff, things like that, and then that you can tell at that point when you see that, you got to stop because you're not helping yourself at all because you're making the problem worse.
Yeah. When I kept repeating, seek me first, seek me first, seek me first, then I remember feeling this understanding of, why would you partner with worry? Why would you partner with despair? Why would you partner with desperation? Why would you bring them on as your partners? Why wouldn't you just have me as your partner?
Wow. When I woke up, I just I had to pick the phone, and this little thing come up on the phone and said, be still and take a deep breath and see what God says to you.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's very simple. It's so good.
And then I stopped and I said, it said, that be still and know that I am God, that I will be with you always. That's what the voice said. That's what the voice came. I had really just got up. I was sitting up and I sit there and I thought about that. I said, And then
you speak it.
It's funny that you said these things and you're bringing that back.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
It's funny.
I mean,
then I go back and I search and I find it again. It just says, it said, be still and take a deep breath.
Yeah.
See what God, yeah.
Yeah.
And listen to what God say.
Yeah, I've said to my friends and people who are worried about something, and I would say, well, I don't understand why you want to sit in the worry. I don't understand why you want to sit in the anger. It's so uncomfortable and it's not pleasant. It just makes you sick physically, and it takes a toll on you, your health, your relationships. And furthermore, what is it actually doing to this? Are you actually helping the situation by worrying about it? Why not just be in a place of peace? Because, I don't know, maybe it would change things if you sit in a place of peace. I don't
It
know.
will change things.
But it's
But
certainly not going to change it if you're sitting in it.
sitting in it. But when you get into that place, it take you a while. You got to really, I call it fight. You got to fight to get out of that,
Yeah.
get out of that space,
Yeah.
because it's just gonna get on your heart, and it's just gonna tear you down, and you just gotta fight. Like, God, please help me. I don't want to be like this. Help me, help me, help me. I surrender, Jesus. Please take me to another place. Show me what I need to do. And then sometimes you could let it go, and then all of a sudden you done picked it back up. That's why I tell everybody, like when we are going through, let us pray really good, ask God to help us in every area direction that we can find, for Him to help. And then when we get up and walk away, don't look back. After I said, don't look back, don't look to the right, don't look to the left, look forward. And if that thing try to come back up in there, no, God got this. I can't do nothing with this. I let it go. I'm not picking it back up. Leave it alone.
Yep. Yep.
I can't do it. You have to let it go. It's not easy.
No, no. And also some people simply, they'll say things like, well, I'm just being a realist. I'm just being a
Yeah.
realist. I'm just choosing not to be uncomfortable during
Yeah.
during a difficult time. If it's a difficult time, then it's a difficult time. Then that's
Right.
just what it
Yeah.
is. But if you're sitting in that place of that super, super negative space of being worried or desperate or anxiety ridden during a difficult time, and you're choosing to be there, then that difficult time becomes so big. It becomes bigger than what it is. The volume gets
Yeah.
turned way, way, way up on it. No matter what you think, you magnifying it to the worst degree. But if you're sitting in a place of peace during a difficult time, then the volume comes down on it a little bit, and you are approaching it in a more neutral way of observation, of analysis, and you're not sitting in it any longer. I feel like when you're sitting in it, it's rough edges, it's sharp edges that can cut you, that can harm you.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
If you've not known that there's another option, because there's another option, it's hard to get out of it. I had a friend who told me a really funny story. When he was in high school, he was a football player and he was all tough and he fought a lot and this sort of a thing. And he had another friend of his who was on the football team, and I guess the guy wasn't showing up to practice or whatever, and he shoved him against the wall, and he had his arm up under his throat, and he was like, "You gotta show up to practice," blah, 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 and like, "You gotta show up to practice," and he was, really aggressive and punching him and stuff like that. And a teacher came by and walked by and tapped him on the shoulder, and as he was walking by, he said, "You can choose kindness, and kept walking. And that really affected him, because he was raised with 3 brothers and they were always fighting. And I guess his family life was like that, always fighting. He didn't know that there was another choice. He didn't know that he could reach people through kindness too.
And did he stop?
He did. That really reached him.
Just one word, just a couple of words.
You can choose kindness, Oh. Huh. So I think that people maybe don't realize that I don't know, they sit there and worry because they think that they're doing something to the situation by worrying
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's not. There's another option.
Good thing come out of it. Just that one few words. He listened. He grasped it right away and he stopped, you know?
Yeah, he became less violent. In fact, I think he stopped being violent. Like, it was a real
Yeah.
profound
You just
change.
need somebody to teach you. And when you raised and in a violent home like that, then that's all you know. You know, you don't know no better.
Yeah.
You think this the way it goes.
Yeah,
You
this is
know,
how you
you
resolve
don't.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, if the parents always fighting and arguing, and then the children always fighting and arguing, that's just the way.
Yeah, that's
You
love.
know,
That's
that,
love.
you know, that's all you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you
exactly.
go to school, and you think you're supposed to be the bully in charge.
Right, you're supposed to be the guy who's like keeping everyone in line.
That's the way you keep everybody in line.
Yeah. Here's how you
This the
do it.
way my parents keep us in line. We fussing and
Yeah, fear me.
yelling and screaming
Mhm.
and going on. Get in line.
Yeah. That's the fire and brimstone approach.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think that people don't have time for God. When they have developed their partnerships with worry and fear and desperation and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
there's not real time. And there's not real understanding or really trust. You don't really trust that you're being looked after, that God's got you, that God knows the situation. Yeah, sometimes you can say something to people and they cannot be reached.
Yeah, because they're going to yell back at you. They're going to say something smart back.
Yeah. Their
Mm-hmm.
their egos in full throttle, and yeah.
Yeah, that's what they'll do, you know.
But he could be
Slam
reached.
you back
Yeah.
in a really bad way sometimes.
Yeah, but that's just somebody who's really, really separated. Really separated.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny too because when I was walking, I thought to myself, I would have thought that I'd go up to God and be like, why can't I have total financial freedom? and then and then I heard the words, do you think that you would sit with God and that's what you would ask for? Really? What would you really ask
Really?
for? Seek me first. Seek me first.
Seek me first.
Seek me first.
Seek me first.
Don't seek the details of life. Seek me first.
And be still
Mm-hmm.
and listen.
Yeah.
And then all these things will be added.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just so good for you when you pay attention to the voice.
Yeah. It took me a very long time to hear it,
Uh huh.
or to separate it.
No, you say sometimes you're not gonna grasp it right away.
No, you don't recognize it apart from your own. Or at
Uh-uh.
least I didn't. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's just me. That sounds like something I would say. It took a real long time for that voice to become clearer. But also for me, I worked towards the thing that I need to know, that I'm properly aligned, that I'm clear, that the communication is real, and I'm in the sacred space, and that's that feeling that I have physically inside of my body that I know is mine. To me, that's my signature. It's my individualized acknowledgement that here we are together, plugged in, everybody's at attention, now let's talk. Yeah, I don't listen or talk until I've done that first. Because then I think, I don't know what this voice is, but I don't think that this is the voice of God for me. And I wait until I've got that connection. And
Mm-hmm.
then I remember I was thinking out loud about something, And then I said, oh, is that me or you? And then I heard, well, what is the difference? It is us together, an agreement with each other. It's so beautiful that you know it's not just you alone, or it's not just that voice inside of your head that's been telling you crap and falsity all your life and whatever you're hearing. You just know it isn't, because it's always going to be empowering. It's always going to be supportive. It's always going to feel subtle. And for me, it permeates inside of my body. Like, I don't just hear it in my head. I feel it in my body first. And then I understand it.
I hear it in my head. And sometimes I say things back. I just said, again, I said, well, what are you doing, Lurlene? Like if I'm doing stuff, and I know, and it says, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop. That's not right. Stop.
Yep. That's not right.
And then I said, God, please help me. When it's just my main word to God. When I get in a jam and I know that I'm doing wrong, I said, God, please help me. I don't want to be like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's not good for you.
It's not good.
It's not good for you.
I just said to boys, just go on. You're not going to torment me. No, and I'm not listening to this. I know that's not right. Go on, leave me alone. Go.
Yeah, all of your self-hatred and comes out in being not nice, not thinking nice about others, and
not
that's
nice.
Yeah, you really have to question the words that come out of your mouth and why.
Right, and when those words come out,
what are you doing?
And you know it's not right. It's time for you to chastise yourself and ask God to forgive you.
It's time to figure that out.
Nobody's perfect. He gives us the wisdom and knowledge to know right from wrong. When we do this, He's such a forgiving God, and when He forgives you, it's done. You don't have to keep going back and keep going back and back. He's done. He's done. Move on.
Yeah, and then just recognizing the little gifts that are left at your door every day.
Mm-hmm.
You may not think that they're enough, but what they are is your way closer. You accept them for what they are. You're thankful for what they are. And then you see more that helps you to believe. And when you believe, you can see.
Yes. Yeah, the same thing. Yes, if we be grateful for little, He will bless us with much.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then that's the same thing. If you trust Him with all your heart and lean, not your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path.
Yes.
So He would direct your path, but you got to trust Him. You got to not lean on your own understanding, doing what you want to do. You think it's supposed to be this way, and now, no, God, I think I want this, but I'm gonna do it like this. All right, go over there and do it and see what you get. Nothing but a heartache, worried mind, disappointment.
Yeah. But again, I mean, I'm over 50, and I just a couple days ago, if it wasn't just yesterday, understood my path. And it wasn't because God said, here's what you're going to be doing, Candice. There wasn't none of that. There was, what is your question of God? You bring it forward. What is the deepest thing in your heart? Know it. But it took me this long to even be able to see and be able to reach into the very bottoms and the depths of my heart. Because there's so much junk in the way.
Right. And it takes time for you to look to the future, because there's so much stuff in the past. You hold on to some of this stuff. You just want to hold on to this. And it's nothing. You gone. You don't pass by that. This is a new day, a new time.
Day.
Move forward.
New day. Hello, Nina Simone, everybody. Go now. Go now. Google Nina Simone and listen to her song.
And every day
is a new day.
Yeah, new day. And we get up and ask God, what am I to do today? What I supposed to do? You direct my path. You lead me. And I'm going to walk behind you. I'm going to listen to this voice. And I always said, if I'm talking too much, stop me. If I'm doing things I shouldn't do, chastise me. If I say things I shouldn't say, ask for forgiveness. If I'm talking to somebody, you know?
Yeah, and expect when you're wanting God to direct your path, expect that process to be one in which you've got to unload, offload, and really truly say goodbye to all of the crap that you've been carrying your whole life. And you have to be willing to do that so that you can bring forth your path in agreement with God. And
Yeah, you can
it's something
bring
that happens
forth
together.
fresh fruit, bring forth fresh fruit.
Yeah. You have to be
Yeah.
willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a process.
Oh, yeah, it's a process. I tell you, it's not going to happen in one day, not 1 week. It's not
No.
1 month sometimes. It's a process. You have to work on that. That's something that you truly, truly have to work on. I've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, well, it's a never-ending process as long as you're living in
Right,
life. It's a life
right.
experience. But
Yeah, like you said, if you're living right, if you and you're trying to live right, if you're trying to do the right thing, and you know you're gonna know when it happens. You got to stop. Oh no, why
yeah,
did I
yeah,
do that?
exactly. You're less likely to accumulate it over time. You know immediately
Mm-hmm.
when it's happening, and you reset yourself pretty quick so that you don't keep bringing it on. Once you've done this work of untangling yourself, removing your blocks, and clearing your body out like that, emotionally and spiritually and sometimes physically, you're not going to want to eat bad food. You're not going to want to eat bad spiritual things or bad emotional things. If energy and spirituality was money in your wallet, you'd be careful how you spent it. You'd be careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I call it garbage. I was saying,
Garbage,
I
yeah.
want to get. I call it garbage.
Dumpster.
I said, I'm not going to have this garbage up in my head. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
Garbage.
not listening to them. You know, you listen to some people. You have to really shake that stuff out.
It is a commitment that just keeps going on and on and on, and you don't stop. And it's not really a lot of effort once you get to that point. It's just like breathing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Once you get to that point, yeah,
It's that natural.
yeah, it's very easy. But you got to work your way to that. Like I said, it's not going to happen just 1 day or 2 days. It's something that you have to work on.
Yeah, and you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's looking for that. I mean, you're still going to be a jerk some days.
Yeah, nobody perfect. We all make mistakes. I'm not. I mean, every day you're going to make some kind of mistake, but you have to realize your mistakes and ask for forgiveness.
But yeah, and recognize when you're feeling kind of jerky or
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling gross inside and you're just like, what is that? You don't know what it is. It could be anything going on. You know, you ate something wrong, your hormones are off, or whatever the environment, the rainy days get you down. Whatever it is, right? The difference is that
Mm-hmm.
you know you're in it. You don't need to get it on anybody else around you, and you can just give it to God and be with God in it, and allow God to
Right.
shift you,
Yeah.
because you
Don't
will
be
be
trying
shifted.
to, yeah. And don't be trying to push your garbage out to nobody else. Carry your own bag.
Yeah. Carry your own bag.
Yeah, and don't be trying to carry nobody else's bag.
It's
Just
nobody
leave it
else's.
alone. If
Yeah.
you can, don't pick it up. Leave it laying right there.
Yeah.
Only way to pick it up is something that helping you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not nothing to destroy you. Not nothing to gonna make you act ugly and do wrong to yourself and others.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
That's
you
all you
do
got to
it,
do. Just go, oh,
recognize your mistakes and correct it. And don't be trying to put it off on nobody else. It's you. You did it.
yeah. Just be like, oh, I'm a jerk. Hey, you know, something cool happened. Our son was out playing basketball with some friends on the street. And he usually, after doing that, he's out there for hours before dinner or after dinner, before it gets dark. And he's always, whenever he comes in, he's always in a good mood because he's been running around with friends. And when you run around, you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the end of the day, so you're running off the day, and
Well, you're running off a whole lot of stuff inside. You
yeah,
clear
yeah,
your mind. You go there when playing around and running around.
yeah, just having
You
fun.
you know you're in the clear mind. You know.
Yeah. And he comes into the house and he's really short with us. Like, not being nice. We're asking questions. How was the game? What? It's fine. And defensive and really weird. And then, we had dinner ready, ready for him to be reheated, and he would eat it and just didn't eat it and not be nice and that sort of a thing. And then he left the room and went back into his room like he was going to go take a shower or something. We looked at each other, and I was like, he's being really nasty. Like, this is weird. And then I asked him another question, and he said something not nice. And I said, all right, that's it. Come into the room. What is your problem? Why are you speaking to us this way? Do not speak to us this way. And he goes, he's pacing, right? And he turns around and he walks away, and he comes back and he says, I'm sorry. We got in a fight out there, and I'm sorry. That's why I'm like this, and I'm being a jerk. And he walked off and he went and got in the shower. And I thought, oh, you beautiful thing, you. All is forgiven, because who cares about any of that other stuff that you were just doing or saying? You just recognized that you were being a jerk, and you shifted so fast. And you didn't double down on it, and you didn't keep going with it, and you didn't keep your ego there. Like, you really got out of it.
Realizing being a jerk, and then he's gonna.
But to him, I always tell him, I said, that's your superpower. You're able to do that. He's able to do that all the time. And that to me is a superpower, because that is so hard to do when you are angry or you're upset and you are just in a spiral of negativity, and you cannot apologize for it. You can't say you're wrong. Like, it's really hard when you're feeling that way, but it's like a superpower that he has. I don't know how he does it, but
Well,
I'm glad he can. I'm glad he can.
You teaching him. That's why he's. He listens when you teach it, and when you're talking to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I would like to say, oh, I didn't teach him that. He knows it. He just knows how to do that. But maybe because we're offering him the way out by saying, hey, look, this isn't you. What's going on? Like, you can't speak to us that way, even when you're upset. You have no right to be speaking to anybody that way. That because you're upset, it's on you. It's not their problem or their fault. So what is it? Learn how to process it. I don't think boys are taught how to process their anger, and it turns into school shootings, and it turns into violence, and it turns into all these other things, and it turns into now you're going on medication, and it turns into problems later in adulthood in the world. And so
be still and know that I'm there.
Be still.
Be still. Be still. Watch what you say.
Yeah.
But again, we are only human. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do something every day. We're gonna make a mistake. Every day we're gonna say something. Every day something's gonna happen if we be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, be honest with yourself. Like, know yourself.
Yeah.
Know how you're feeling. And
Right.
then you'll know your words.
Yeah. We know we're gonna do these things even before we do it. You get ready to do something stupid there.
Yeah, if you know how you feel, you should know it too.
Yeah, you know it. You know it.
You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we bring bring everyone out in some prayer? And
Yes. God, we just come to you this morning, Jesus, with uplifted hearts and minds and our souls. We are looking to you, for our help come from you, Lord. You're the one that made heaven and earth. And Father, as we come this morning, we put on the whole armor of God, that we may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against the power, against the rules of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual weakness in high places. And Father God, when we get up and take on your word each and every morning, you will direct our path. And we just want to thank you for just looking down upon us each and every day as your little children. And lead us, Father. Teach us, guide us, protect us, and let us recognize your voice when you speak. Let us not procrastinate. Let us move.
Yep.
And God, we just thank you. We thank you for another opportunity that you give us this morning. And Father, you woke us up in our right mind. We already had our blessing this morning when we rose this morning in our right mind. And we rose, got up out of bed, Father God, and we could walk, we could talk, we could see. So many fathers laid on the wayside. They doesn't have what we have, but let us be grateful for every little thing that you do for us, God. Let us not complain about anything, because we have nothing to complain about, because you said that you would provide all our needs according to your riches and glory by Christ Jesus. And you have provided for us, Father.
Mm-hmm.
And as you provide for us, God, let us look around, and if there's anything that we can do to help someone else, let us do it. And we just want to thank you, Lord. Father God, we just ask you to look over your children's, Lord. Those that's waiting upon you and don't know you and don't know your words, when your voice, just teach them like you taught us. We didn't get this in one day, 1 month, 1 year. It took time. And we're just asking your mercy and grace upon each and every one of your children this morning. And Father, as we go through this day, just let us say a kind word to someone. And we thank you, Lord, for guiding us and teaching us to be your children. We just thank you for letting us be your daughters, accepted us as your daughters this morning. And we love you and we praise you, and we just glorify your precious name. And we just thank you, Father God, for this day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We're so glad that you give us another day, another opportunity to walk with you, God, and just teach us. Let us learn something today that we don't even know. We don't know everything. We think, God, we're never too old to learn. Each and every day, if we pay attention to the people that we talk to, our surroundings, we can hear something that we never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And God, just let us open up our ears just to listen.
Unlock you.
Again, Father. And we want to be like you. We want to walk like you. We want to talk like you. And we want to love like you. Give us a loving heart. Strengthen us where we weak, build us up and make us strong. And just walk with us daily. Again, most of all, forgive us for our sins, because we've sinned and we know not. But we just ask you, God, just to forgive us for our sins, and let us forgive those who mistreat us, and let us not try to hold it against them, because again, we are not perfect. And we just thank you for this day. And we bless your name at all times. Your praise will and shall continue to be in our mouth. And we just ask you to look over each and every one this day, God. Whichever direction that we are going in today, walk with us and guide us and protect us. Keep us safe from all hurt, harm, and unseen danger. And we thank you for it, Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for peace this morning, God. Keep that peace going. Keep our hearts filled with joy. We claim victory over every enemy, over every circumstances. This is the day you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to leave all our burdens behind us, Lord. We're not going to pick them up. We're going to drop them down, and we're just going to walk forward. In your name, in that precious name of Jesus. And we claim in favor this day, Lord, favor over our life, over every circumstance, Father. We just claim that favor. And we're going to turn all our heavy burdens over to you. That you said, cast our burdens upon your shoulders that you would carry. We're going to turn them over. Take these burdens, Lord, and you carry them for us, Lord. And we thank you. We thank you. We thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
We thank you for guiding us and just lose the bond of weakness off us, God. Where we weak, build us up and make us strong. And we just want to thank you for breaking every yoke, every stronghold. In the name of Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you, Lurlene.
Yes.